So I do this thing where I find Mario games in my fridge. I don't know why, sometimes I just don't want to script an intro. Like I'm holding Arcania and I don't know how I introduced this game, so I'll keep it in my toaster until I get the urge to play it. Now I hold Mario 3D World's re-release, a game I got when I pre-ordered with the expectation that the game would arrive 2 days after release. But no, it got here on the game's release date, which upset me because this isn't a game I'm too keen on adding to my list of games I've bought on release. So I'll keep this in my fridge until this game stops trending and play it then. I never really cared for Super Mario 3D World. When Nintendo's follow-up to Super Mario Galaxy looked like this, can you blame me? This is the fourth Switch game I played that originally belonged to the Wii U, and while I'm on the topic of Nintendo re-releasing games, I'd like to break off into a tangent. For months there were rumors of Nintendo re-releasing the other 3D Mario games separately that people were glimmering for, and when Nintendo revealed that they were releasing 3 of these games in one package, people started complaining that it cost $60, which is more than a fair price for 3 remastered classics on a portable console where the current value of these games is over a Benjamin and you need the original stationary consoles to play them. On top of that, people will complain that the package didn't include Galaxy 2, 3D World, or Odyssey, and god, people can never enjoy what they got. It's a great package I'll gladly add to the list, and I don't even mind that I already own these games. I'm no stranger to owning games multiple times. I own Soul Calibur 2 twice and Doom 3 4 times. These 3 games are more than enough to keep someone happy, but I'm glad 3D World wasn't part of the bundle. It just doesn't fit in, but more on that later. It's time to actually talk about 3D World. We start with Bowser kidnapping a bunch of fairies and placing them in his Siam jars, and Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Blue Toad go after them, as this time it's the Yellow Toad that gets shelved instead. With the classic overworld, we jump into levels and must platform our way to the flagpole at the end while also collecting 3 green stars hidden throughout the level. Many items make a welcome return, and we get introduced to new items like the cat suit, which lets us climb walls and have a scratch attack, and the double cherry, which multiplies our character. Another collectible in each level are these stickers that you can use in photo mode if you're actually into that kind of thing. Now the game lets you select your character at the start of each level, and they all have unique attributes to them. Mario is basic, Luigi is a jumper, Peach can hover, and Toad is speedy. Rosalina gets introduced after the game and becomes a playable character, and her neat attribute is the spin attack from the Galaxy games. It gives a sense of strategy as in who you want to take into each level. I reserve Toad for speedrun levels as he is the fastest runner, Peach is best reserved for platform intensive levels as her hover makes them easier to navigate, and I save Luigi for ghost theme levels because it feels like a legal obligation. Also there are levels where you play as Captain Toad and search for green stars on these little puzzle courses where you can only move Toad and shift your view. These levels are a lot of fun and makes me want to purchase Captain Toad's treasure tracker so I can have a full game of just this. The Koopalings are nowhere seen in this game, which left room for actual boss variety, and I didn't even mind seeing Boom Boom, that is until I saw a second Boom Boom and it almost gave me a stroke. Now part of me is having a hard time grasping this as a 3D game because compared to the other 3D Mario games, this sticks out like a sore thumb that's so sore it's not even attached anymore. The camera having this fixed overview with Mario and Co running to the right most of the time in an artificial looking course rather than genuine worlds doesn't provide the grand spectacle the other 3D games have. But when I compare it to the 2D Mario games, oh man, this is everything I wanted from New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. A character selection screen that matters, a nice variety in bosses, and no disgusting baby Yoshis in sight. When I wasn't expecting the grand spectacle the other 3D games have, this became so much more fun to play through. I changed my perspective. This isn't a 3D Mario game, it's a 2D Mario game presented in 3D, and I really enjoyed it. It does still have one major problem, the camera. The way it's placed is just a bit awkward. There is no depth perception here and it becomes hard to measure your jumps and judge distances. It feels like you're playing this game wearing an eye patch. Now this is a game where you can play simultaneous 4 players. I know this because the game reminded me of that multiple times early on, and every time you start a new level the game reminds you that you don't have friends. Multiplayer is a lot of fun, however it discourages the whole fuck over your friends vibe the other games have because of the fact that in this game you all share your lives, and if one person fails, everyone does. Despite removing the toxicity of being dicks to your friends, it still encourages a competitive edge by ranking the players at the end of each level. I got a lot of enjoyment playing this with my friends, and this game also provides plenty of entertainment in single player. I wouldn't call it a game to buy a console for, but it's a game you should play if you have the console. I'll gladly add this to the list. But that said, I did not buy the game for 3D World. No, I bought it for this. Bowser's Fury. When I first saw this trailer, I lost my mind. I've always wanted Bowser to be portrayed as a serious and dangerous threat that doesn't go golfing. On the scale of villainy, Bowser's always been less of a Darth Vader and more of a Dr. Doofenshmirtz. If you ignore the Smash games, Bowser's only really had 2 games where he seems like an actual ferocious villain. One was Super Mario Galaxy, and the other was Mario Strikers Charged. Bowser's Fury is a bonus game bundled with Super Mario 3D World on the Switch. It starts with Mario going on a walk until he falls through some black goo and ends up at a lake, and after running around a bit, Bowser emerges in the most epic fashion and starts fucking shit the fuck up. The party ends when we grab a cat shine and it causes Bowser to retreat, and then we run into Bowser Jr., who asks for Mario's help to save his father from this fury that has infected him. Mario agrees, and now the two will work together to traverse this world collecting cat shines that are spread throughout these islands that you can travel to by using Plessing, making this game feel like Wind Waker but with a lot less. Now once you're on an island, the cat shines can be obtained in a variety of ways, such as collecting 5 cat shine coins, climbing to the top, reuniting the crying cat mother with her kittens, or defeating enemies. God, can you f*** off! Now the fact that we have a movable camera following Mario run around this open world makes it feel closer to Super Mario Odyssey than it does 3D World. Bowser Jr. flies around us and we can decide how helpful he is, but mostly he just kills enemies, which doesn't make sense, but I'm not going to go into that, and store a bunch of items for us that we can access anytime. Now periodically Bowser will awaken and cause mayhem, and you can make him go away by either waiting it out, collecting a cat shine, or after collecting enough cat shines, the Giga Bell will awaken and you can use that to become Giant Cat Mario and take the fight to Bowser. It is truly an epic clashing of gods that reminds me of the first God of War. Now there is a big problem with Bowser's Fury. Despite how awesome Bowser looks and how intense the gameplay is, it reaches a point where you can't really enjoy it. Let's take these Bowser blocks that can only be destroyed by Bowser's Fire Blast, so you wait until he comes out and then destroys the block so you can get the cat shine, but that means he disappears as quickly as he appears. And then when you start to go after the next cat shine, by the time you get to the final steps of getting it, Bowser will again reawaken and again he's gone before you know it. It's fun, intense gameplay, but you can't really enjoy it because most of the time Bowser barely sticks around for a cup of coffee. From that, I was ready to write off Bowser's Fury as a great concept poorly executed. But then Bowser's Fury saw that, gently bent me over its lap, patted my bottom, and told me to shut the f*** up. At one point I was caught in the middle of the lake with Bowser on top of me, and I'll admit it was a bit stressful having to time my dive into the water to avoid the fire and having the nearest cat shine be a bit out of reach. But once I finally got to it, the game gave me a middle finger and told me that the cat shines aren't going to do jack shit against Bowser and that I have to scramble around and collect the rest of the cat shines with an even more aggressive Bowser on my tail. And it was fun, intense, and even scary, and the final stretch of this game has been my favorite 20 minutes out of the entirety of 2021. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is a fantastic deal that I'll gladly add to the list. 3D World is an amazing 2D Mario game in 3D that's even more fun with friends, and while I did say Bowser's Fury stumbled for a bit, it really stuck the landing, and I can comfortably say that it's really great. Plus it really is something that this package shows Bowser at his best, and that is worst. His fucking worst. This game also really has a thing for cats. Now I got myself the Cat Peach amiibo because of course I had to. What does it do in game? No idea. So why did I buy it? Oh shit, Arcania's on fire!